because they had the fear in people because they know they had the advantage of people, and they did. And but to make a long story short, because I'm a long-winded person, but I ain't gonna take up all this time because I enjoy everybody and I enjoy stuff like this. And we have been so blessed by this gentleman right here because he had wrote a book off of some of this. So that's a great blessing for all of us. And so, but I want to say some of the things that I experienced in my life. I played football in high school. So me and one of my friends went to the store. My little town, hometown in South Carolina, is about this a little bigger than this town. So we went in the store. It was two people that we saw. The boy was behind the counter, and another guy was standing there by him. So we walked on in the store, and when we got in the store, we looked around, and it was about 15 of them in there. And I told my friend, I said, let's get close to the canned goods section. I said, let's just get close, because we know what we had to do. We know what they was up for, right then. We got close to the canned goods section. And once they started coming on us, we just started foaming and everything we could get us hand on. And this is a true story. But don't get me wrong now. It was very, very scary. When you got two people, and then you look around and about 14 or 15 people in there. But we knew it because we knew the history of what they would do, you know. And so we started throwing canned goods and throwing canned goods, and so eventually somebody had told two of those friends, and they hadn't finished school. And Willie Newman, one of them, the big guy, he weighed about 240 and had muscles and everything. So he came to the door. He had a board about this long, and he had a little tight stick out of it, about that full. And he bust out the whole front windshield. It's like four front glass right there. He bust the whole glass out. Him and another guy was out there. And he hollered and told us that they was out there. And so me and my friend had to fight to make it to get out of there. And then as they come out, one or two at a time, it didn't make no difference with them. They was hitting them with them bones. And all you could see when we got out there and when they got through, it was just all you could see was just blood and bodies laying all over the ground. But they saved our life. They saved our life because they was gonna do something to us bad. So you know, I lifted up. I told this story once before, and my grandfather was from Georgia. He was born, his original home was in Georgia. And he told us, and he didn't tell us this until we got up inside before we passed. But his daddy used to sharecrop, work on the farm, you know, and do whatever had it done. But he would work from sun up to sundown. But if they didn't thought that he did enough that day, they would come back to the house and get him and tell him, let's go for a ride. And then they would take him down in the woods and beat him. And then his wife, my grandmother, had to patch him up and with homemade stuff. Because back then, you know, when I come up, we really didn't know what a doctor was. And I was born with a midwife at home. And all of my older brothers and sisters, we was born at home. And I don't know if anybody else here was born at home or not, but I know that I was. And so, but anyway, he saw that happened over and over and over with his daddy. And he just got so tired. And it was hurting him so bad. And at that time, he was about 15 years old. And it built up in him. And he said, enough is enough. So people back then, the houses in South Carolina back then, they used to be way high off the ground. Old houses that we used to live in, they used to be high, real high off the ground. And I'm sure Suge and George and a few of us know about them kind of houses. So he got up, he packed his clothes, because he had family in South Carolina. And he had packed his clothes, he had been told him he was coming, he had enough money, and he had been figure out all the way to get there and everything. But that morning about 3 o'clock, he got up, got his daddy shotgun, double barrel, slipped out the house, got his clothes out the house, and he went over where the man lived at, which wasn't far from where he was living. And he went up under the house. He got over there about 4 o'clock, because he knew every morning he got up at 5 o'clock. So he sat behind one of the piers up under the house, and the steps was high off the ground, you know. So that morning at 5 o'clock, he heard him when he got up. So when he opened the door, my granddaddy, he got in position. When he hit the third, and I want to say I don't have any pleasure about telling this story, but I feel like it needs to be told for some of us young children. They need to know the history of what we went through and what our ancestors went through. So he got to the third step, and Granddaddy turned both barrels right in here and took off. He killed him right there. And when my granddaddy told us that, he was just crying. I mean, because it wasn't nothing that he was proud of, but he had to took. It's a hard thing to see your mom and dad work hard as they can, and then somebody come and get them and tear them out in the woods and beat them. You know, it's a terrible thing. So he said that he just had more than he could take. And you know, I want to say, what Brother Tom doing, we need to, and I've been doing it ever since he started. I was telling parents, that they need to bring their children to these meetings. Whenever he have them, these children need to be to the meetings. And my grandson lives in Raleigh, and the next time he have one, if it's God will, he gonna be here, because I already told my granddaughter I want him here. Because they need to know their family history, their parents' history, uncles and nieces and nephews and cousins. They need to know their whole family history. And one more thing, and I'm gonna turn the mic loose. Me and my brother started our family reunion 14 years ago, because the Lord brought it to me. Said, listen, you need to start something, because these young children need to know their families. A lot of people take that for granted, but our children and nieces and nephews and all cousins, they need to know their family. And 7 years ago, my nephew and my son and all of them, they took it over for me and my brother. They said, well, see, y'all ain't got old, you know, getting old, so it's time for y'all to lay back, and we're gonna take it over. And since they took it over, last September, we met. They got on the internet and everything, and we had 49 cousins that it was the first time I seen in my life. Had 3 aunts that we never met in my life. So this, you know, if you plant a seed, you might not see it grow right then. But if you plant it, sooner or later, I might not be here to see it. Or the person who sowed it might not be here to see it. But sooner or later, the seed will grow. You understand? And so I recommend everybody, if you don't have family reunions, and get together with you. And my friends, we get together all the time. And that's something that I am proud of. We get together all of us get together. We fellowship all the time together.